The Kreth Dominion had destroyed many worlds before Earth. They were powerful, proud, and cruel. Their warships covered the sky like dark clouds, blocking the sun, making cities fall silent in fear. Earth's leaders begged for peace, but the Kreth only laughed. They thought humans were weak, just like the others. But far away from the cities, deep in the forested mountains, a man named Rylan watched everything from his cabin. He was a former soldier, tired of war, tired of loss. Yet when he saw Earth burning, something inside him changed. He didn't feel fear, he felt anger. While others gave up, he prepared. In an old military base hidden under the ground, Rylan found something strange. A locked vault. Inside it, he found blueprints, strange machines, and a project left behind by a secret group. It wasn't just a weapon. It was something more, something made to stop invaders, something no one had ever used. Rylan didn't know if it would work. He didn't even know how to control it. But he knew one thing: he would fight. He was only one man. He had no army. But sometimes one man is all it takes to start a war the enemy never expected. Rylan worked alone in the darkness of the underground base. The air was thick with dust, the lights old and weak, flickering above his head. The machines around him were strange, built with a mix of human and alien technology, something far beyond what Earth's armies had ever used. He studied the blueprints for hours, trying to understand how it worked. The project was called Phoenix Protocol. It was not just a weapon. It was alive, connected to the thoughts and emotions of the one who used it. It responded to pain, to fear, to rage. Rylan began repairing it, using parts from old drones and broken vehicles. He hadn't slept in days. Outside, the Kreth continued their attacks, destroying Earth's satellites, cutting off communication, burning cities one by one. They searched for any human resistance, but they didn't know about the Phoenix. They didn't know about Rylan. He sent out no signal, no message. He just worked in silence, preparing for the moment to strike. The machine slowly came to life, its core glowing with strange light. Rylan looked at it and whispered, "Let's see if you're as dangerous as they feared." The war had already started, but the real fight was about to begin. The Phoenix Protocol was ready. Its tall frame stood in the center of the underground chamber, silent but full of power. It wasn't like any weapon Rylan had seen before. It connected directly to his nervous system. When he placed his hand on the control panel, he felt a sharp jolt. Then everything changed. He could see data, energy, even movement outside the base. It was as if the machine had opened his mind. But with that power came pain. The connection burned through his thoughts like fire. It was difficult to control, like wrestling with a wild beast. But Rylan didn't stop. He trained with it, learned to walk in its armor, fire its weapons, move with its speed. The Phoenix made him faster, stronger, smarter. But it also whispered to him, echoes of old memories, voices of the past, warnings of destruction. Outside, the Kreth had begun rounding up survivors. They set up command towers, forced people to kneel, and used brutal machines to crush any who refused. Rylan watched from the shadows. He knew he couldn't wait much longer. The world was falling, and the Kreth still believed no human could touch them. That was about to change. He stepped into the light, and the Phoenix followed. Rylan moved through the ruined city like a ghost wrapped in fire. The Phoenix armor shimmered with energy, each step shaking the ground beneath him. The Kreth patrols didn't see him coming. In seconds, their machines were turned to scrap, their soldiers torn apart by weapons they couldn't even understand. Rylan didn't speak. He didn't make threats. He just struck and vanished again. People hiding in fear began to whisper his name. Some said he was a spirit. Others called him a demon. The Kreth called him the Burning One. He became a symbol, hope for humans, and terror for aliens. The Dominion sent elite hunters after him, creatures trained to kill anything. But none of them returned. Rylan was no longer just a man. He had become the storm. The more he used the Phoenix, the more it changed him. He started seeing visions, flashes of stars, ancient battles, voices from another time. The machine wasn't just human tech. It had a deeper origin, something even the Kreth feared. Rylan began to understand that this war was older than Earth itself. But it didn't matter. His mission was clear. Strike fast, hit hard, and remind the galaxy that humans don't bow. They fight. The Kreth Dominion was furious. Their pride was shattered, their command towers destroyed one by one. Rylan was no longer hiding. He was attacking. Each strike was precise, each escape impossible to trace. The Phoenix moved with him like it was part of his soul, responding to his thoughts before he could speak them. The whispers among humans grew louder. Rebellion started in small towns. People began to rise, taking back streets and shelters. Rylan had become their symbol, the spark that lit the fire. But inside the Phoenix, something was changing. Rylan felt it. The machine was learning, adapting, pushing him further. He had more power now than he thought possible, but it came at a cost. His body ached. His memories blurred. He didn't know how much longer he could carry the connection. Still, he moved forward. The final Kreth warship landed in the heart of Earth's largest city, their leader inside, a creature known as Vekar, a warlord who had ended entire civilizations. He called for surrender. Rylan answered with silence. The last battle was coming. And though his strength was fading, Rylan made a promise to himself. He would finish this war, even if it cost him everything. Because this was no longer about survival. It was about revenge. The sky above the city burned red as the final battle began. Kreth war machines filled the streets, firing at anything that moved. Civilians ran for cover, watching from windows and rooftops, hoping the stories were true. And then, through the smoke and fire, he appeared, Rylan, covered in scorched Phoenix armor, his steps heavy but full of purpose. The Kreth aimed everything at him. Missiles, lasers, drones, all launched at once. But the Phoenix had changed. It glowed brighter than ever, its core pulsing like a living heart. Rylan raised his hand, and with a burst of energy, the attack stopped midair and exploded harmlessly. The crowd gasped. The Kreth screamed in confusion. He marched toward the command ship, where Vekar waited, confident, armored, ready. The two clashed in the heart of the city. Every strike cracked the ground. Every blow shook buildings. But Rylan didn't back down, even as the Phoenix warned him. Energy failing, body reaching its limit, he pushed forward. One last hit, one final surge of power, and Vekar fell. The Kreth ships began to retreat. Earth was silent. Then it roared. The people cheered. Rylan stood in the center, barely alive, but victorious. He had defied the galaxy, and he had won.